Tammy Reese here at the Showboat Hotel, New Jersey HorrorCon with John Kassir, who's none other than the Crypt Keeper. How you enjoying HorrorCon so far?
I'm having a great time, kiddies.
Yes. Why do you
like
think so?
a gateway drug to horror for kids, you know. And if we had known kids were watching it the whole time, they probably wouldn't have let the rights go. It'd be back on the air already. But we're trying to get it back on the air, which would be awesome. But you know, it was a comic book back in the 50s and 60s, and I loved it as a kid. I think that anything you see with horror probably used something from those comic books, whether it was the makeup or the way the monsters looked or the art. We used to use the comic book frames ourselves as the storyboards for our episodes. So it's a pretty amazing story. I mean, it's, you know, they're fables, you know, with morals in the end and that kind of thing. So it's, you know, they're great stories to
How
tell.
did you get the role of the Crypt Keeper?
You know, I was working for HBO doing another series called First and 10, and I had worked on Dream On and some other shows for HBO, and they needed somebody who could, you know, they needed an actor who could also be funny like a stand-up comic, who could also create a voice that worked for the puppet and that kind of thing. So they invited me to come down to Kevin Yeager's studio, and he was, you know, working on the puppet, you know, like the real puppet at the time. And I got to see what he looked like, and you know, I created what I created, and I did it for Kevin Yeager, and he was laughing the whole time, and it kind of made me laugh at the jokes, and I was like, okay, that works really well for the character. You know, I was thinking a little bit of Alfred Hitchcock from Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and a little bit of the, you know, I used to, in my stand-up, I used to do, you know, like a short version of the Wizard of Oz. So I was gonna throw a little bit of the Wicked Witch of the West's laugh in there, you know, and scream and that kind of thing. And he had all these holes in his throat, and he loved saying these. I remember the other actors that were auditioning, sitting there reading the puns, going, "Oh my God, this stuff is terrible. Be careful what you ask for. You may get it," you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, "Nah, you don't get it. This guy loves saying this stuff. This is Shakespeare to him, you know."
Why do you think it's important to have a platform like HorrorCon for you legends in the genre?
You know, I mean, any kind of convention has always been there for people of like-minded businesses, social and, you know, marketing type of things, and this is no different. It's really a convention for people who love this stuff, and horror is popular because people love stuff they don't need to take seriously. You know, I loved horror as a kid. People are like, "Oh my God, you know, weren't you scared?" I said, "Of course I was scared, but I love being scared. It titillates something in us that we're, you know, that is primal, and we like that. We like to be scared." I mean, the Crypt Keeper is kind of like the ride up to the top of the roller coaster before it drops you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a fun thing. He's letting you know this is going to be fun. It's not just to scare you. It's actually there for you to have a good time, laugh at, and feel good about.
Thank you so much. You're definitely a legend in the genre. Definitely keep up the great work. Can we laugh together?
You got it. Ready? One,
Yes.
2, 3. My job is safe.